Listen, do you hear that? The quiet sound of chains you've worn for so long, you no longer notice their weight. They are not made of iron, not forged by metal or locked in a cell. They are built from every opinion you feared, every judgment you accepted, every voice that told you who you should be. Some prisons have walls and bars, but the most powerful ones are invisible. They exist within the mind, constructed by the fear of what others might think. And without even realizing it, you stop living freely. You start behaving, performing, existing, not for yourself but for them. It never begins with heavy chains. It begins softly, quietly, with a glance, a laugh, a question that sounds harmless. What will people think? You wear something you love. Someone says it looks strange, so you hide it. And with it, a piece of yourself. You speak your truth once. They mock your words, so you swallow the next 100 truths. Before they ever reach your lips, you start editing your laughter, your dreams, your voice, your entire existence, just to fit into a world that never truly cared to understand you. And slowly, you stop living by your heart and start performing for an audience that was never even watching. This is how the prison is built. Not overnight, not with force, but with tiny compromises. With every moment you choose approval over authenticity. The truth is, we are not chained by what people say. We are chained by the fear of what they might say. Most of the time, no one is even watching us. No one is thinking about our mistakes, our flaws, our failures, as much as we believe. Yet we live as if every eye is pointed at us, every mind is judging us, every heart is waiting for us to fall. So we shrink ourselves. We silence our own voice before anyone else has the chance to. We dim our light just to make others comfortable in their shadows. We laugh differently, walk differently, dream differently, not because we want to, but because we're terrified of standing out. This is the cruelest part of the prison. The bars don't come from outside. They grow from within us, from our imagination of judgment, our fear of rejection, our hunger to be accepted by everyone, except ourselves. And the more we feed that fear, the stronger the prison becomes. Today, the prison has a new name. It glows behind screens. It scrolls endlessly. It listens even in silence. We wake up, and before we even greet the morning, we greet the world's judgment through likes, comments, hearts, and views. We don't ask, "Am I happy?" anymore. We ask, "Do they like me?" We don't wonder, "Is this meaningful?" We wonder, "Will this get attention?" So we filter our smiles. We edit our lives. We only show the brightest parts, hiding the cracks, the tears, the truth. And in return, we compare our reality to someone else's highlight reel. We feel small, not because we are, but because we measure our worth through someone else's lens. This is the modern cage, not built of stone or steel, but of screens and illusions, where approval is currency and authenticity is the price we pay. And so we smile in public and break in private. We become experts at hiding pain. We laugh, we nod, we say, "I'm fine," while our hearts quietly whisper, "I'm tired, I'm lost, I don't know who I am anymore." We carry invisible wounds, not on our skin but in our souls. Wounds from comparison, from judgment, from pretending to be someone we're not, just to be accepted. The world claps for the mask we wear, but no one hears the cries beneath it. And in the silence of the night, when the world is finally still, we feel the weight of all the versions of ourselves we killed, just to be liked. But there comes a moment when the silence becomes too loud, when the weight of pretending becomes heavier than the fear of being seen. It doesn't happen in a shout. It happens in a quiet breath, a whisper inside the soul that says, "I can't keep living like this." The world may not notice it, but inside, something shifts. A small crack appears in the walls we built around ourselves. For the first time, we begin to wonder, what if my life doesn't have to be a performance? What if their approval isn't worth my freedom? It's not courage yet. It's not rebellion. It's just the beginning, the first flicker of truth, fighting to be heard again. Sometimes, the scariest thing isn't the cage we're in. It's the open door right in front of us, because freedom isn't just about walking away, it's about walking into the unknown. You feel your heart race. Your mind whispers, "What if I fail?" But your soul, it quietly asks, "What if this is who I was meant to be?" There's no map, no guarantee, only a choice to stay in the familiar pain or step into unfamiliar possibility, and in that moment, you realize the door was never locked. You were just afraid to turn the handle. And so, they take the first step. Not because they are fearless, but because they are tired of living in a cage built by opinions and doubts. The door closes behind them with a quiet echo. No applause, no certainty, just silence and possibility, but sometimes that's all you need. One step, one breath of unknown air, one moment where you choose to live for yourself, not for the world. This is where the old story ends, and the real story begins. Fade out, silence. Then the distant sound of wind, like a world calling their name.